Hello, Internet. This is Ewan Spence and DSC Insight calling. You know what? Tel Aviv is easy. Does anybody know the way to London? No. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. I'm Ewan Spence and this is ESC Insight, and I'll look back at the news in the world of the Eurovision Song Contest and Junior Eurovision over the last 2 weeks. Coming up in the show, our count is 38, Norway avoids a Swedish clash, and Amsterdam's regular April invasion has a date. As always, you can keep up to date with the news on Twitter and our Facebook accounts, facebook.com/ESC Insight, twitter.com/ESC Insight, the main website as well. Go and have a guess, it's escinsight.com. You should have worked it out by now, and that's got our RSS links and out to Google Podcasts and Apple iTunes and everything where you can leave us reviews. And just to let you know, we've also refreshed our YouTube page. Now, we're not moving heavily into video again, and Terry Vision remains nicely, quietly, happily retired with Mrs. Vision, but we are uploading this season's podcast into Google's great big multimedia engine, so you can subscribe over at youtube.com/ESC Insight as well. Basically, we put some nice graphics around the podcasts and put them up as a video, and we're going to backfill some of the castaways and stuff in there, and there's the occasional funny video and fun and games that we've popped up over time, which are listed on the front page as well. Pop over and feel free to subscribe. As always, just as we're keeping an eye on everything else, a big thank you to our supporters at Patreon, which helps support the website's running costs, new equipment costs, and keeping us able to bring you as much content as we can. During September, Patreon supporters will be able to listen to an extra podcast with another episode of Eurovision Decades. It was 1965 to 1969 that's just passed. And we had a DVD extra equivalent of the songs that didn't quite make our national finals article. So the songs that nearly but didn't quite make it into that article about which song would you play someone who wants to listen to the national finals to get them excited. We put the second one choices in there, and we've also posted up some stuff as well that's freely available. So there's like some examples of our early logo designs and website drafts, so you can have fun looking at that. My attempt at the logo before we got a professional and Ben Morrison to do that. So head over to escinsight.com/Patreon to see those, and you also there you'll find more details about how you can support the site as well from as little as $1 a week. And you can keep supporting us in other ways: comments, shares, podcast reviews. Over on our iTunes and Google Play, your smartphone clients. I would recommend Player FM on Android and Overcast on iOS, just for those of you who are looking for links. They're my favourite. All of that coming up and more. It is the start of the season, but it's quiet. We're sort of building up our foundations and the building blocks and everything. So always, you can feel, I know we have our reader surveys going on, but always feel free to get back in touch and give us any ideas and comments as well. Ewan at escinsight.com. Right then, where do we stand with our big adventure to Tel Aviv right now? Our count currently stands at 38 entries. And now, remember, of course, everybody's already entered their forms to the EBU. It's just that these 38s are the ones that have actually announced that they've done it. The EBU has the final number already. There is a withdrawal date in mid-October which the broadcaster can use, and if they withdraw before that point, there will be no financial penalty. After that point, there will be a cost if they withdraw. So I would assume that there will be an announcement at some point mid to late October, but it's not a requirement. It's not necessarily. They could leave it right up until March if you really, really wanted. But there's going to be calls for stuff. For those of you keeping track, compared to 2018, the countries that haven't publicly declared are Armenia, Australia, Italy, Moldova, Russia, and San Marino that are going on in there. So although Australia's going to say, yeah, we're pretty much doing it, so we could probably knock that one off that list in between the drafting this and getting this recorded. So, hey, there we go. Right, where else are we up to? My Heritage has been announced as the presenting partner for the contest, and they offer DNA testing to discover your family history. They'll be on screen and visible online throughout the Eurovision years. According to the official press release, My Heritage focuses on the rich heritage of the Eurovision Song Contest and will reveal the connections between winners, participants and fans of the show. Let's hope nobody feels pressured into taking part just to get a good story. Eurovision in Concert has announced dates for the largest promotional event of the year. It's going to be on April 6th. Again, it's in Amsterdam at the AFAS Live venue. Tickets are on sale now, priced €48.50. More details at eurovisioninconcert.nl. We will more than likely have ESC reporters on the ground, but whether they're going to be from the UK, probably not, because that's like 9 days after the alleged Brexit date. And travel might be fun, so we'll have somebody from the continent popping in there with a microphone to get us some courage. But before that, we have another party. Lithuania have announced the After Eurovision party, which is a Eurovision concert in December. It's going to be taking place in December the 16th. Expect performances from Eva Zasmiskate, Laura Risotto, Alina Neshieva, Arnold Rhino-Shaughnessy is on the list, as is Caesar Sampson. There's probably going to be a number of names that are familiar from Lithuania's marathon selection process. More on that later on in the show. And you can get details, and tickets are on sale now. Links back at the website. In terms of Tel Aviv, look, again, as I've said before, there's lots of froth in the Israeli media about this. The last 2 weeks have really been focusing on the stage size and the venue capacity. Can't have, requested bids, and they've asked for certain things. And one of those is to have as much space for the fans as possible. And I would remind you all here that, okay, we can't put a number on this because they haven't decided who's building the stage or what it's going to look like yet. They can have a rough idea, but nothing concrete. This venue, when it does a 360-degree pop concert in the round, as it were, it has a capacity of just under 10,000. Once you put in all the requisite EBU gubbins, you're looking at between 7,000 and 8,000 no matter what you do. Now, you might build a green room in another venue and sell another couple of thousand tickets to go in there and have big screens, so there might be more opportunities, but that will come out in the bidding process. Keep an eye on the froth, but remember, keep an eye out on the official sources as well. Tickets are expected to be on sale, all going well, by the end of December, and if you're lucky, maybe by early December, so they can be bought as a Christmas present. Tickets that are on sale are for Junior Eurovision. Dress rehearsal starts at 6 p.m. local on 24th of November. Prices between 6 and 9 Belarusian rubles. And the final show, same time on the 25th of November at 9 to 12 Russian rubles going on in there. Various ticket agencies across the country as well as online. We have a number of results from national finals to select songs for Junior Eurovision. And again, let's go for rough alphabetical order. Albania has selected Efi Yichka singing Barbie, 16 Rand. Nobody but first place was announced, so we'll just leave it at that one. Similar in Armenia, 10 Rand on that one, and first over the line was Levon Galstian with the self-titled Levon song. Love to ask if we do have to pronounce that letter by letter, or if we're just calling it Levon, or we have to do it in a loud Brian Blessedy voice because it's all in capitals. Levon! Who knows? Netherlands, Max and Anne are singing their song together, which is called Together, but it will be singing in Dutch, so it's Samen. It's a self-penned song. It's one of the rare occurrences of that at Junior this year. It used to be a rule that all the kids had to write their own songs. Now it's they can help out if they like. Kazakhstan having their first national final for Junior Eurovision as well, with Danalia Tulashova winning through with her song Orzin Sen, Believe in Yourself. She won the televote on that one, second place with the jury, enough to put her over the line, and will have the ticket to Minsk. The winner of the jury finished third in the televote, 10 Rand. We had semi-final news as well from Wales, confirming the national final lineup that will be happening on Tuesday is it the 9th? Yes, I should know, I've got train tickets booked. Tuesday the 9th, Gracie Jane, Lauren Mia, Manuel, Misha, Ella Georgi and Lily will all be taking place in whatever the Welsh pronunciation of A Song for Wales is. I will get somebody to teach me that by the time of the next podcast. What else? Flagging up, Belarus have updated the version of Daniel's song Time that's being re-recorded, presumably for the Junior Eurovision digital album release, and then for on stage, and the different versions that are needed, the backup versions, the karaoke versions, and all of that going through. Georgia have announced that they have a singer, Tamara Elishvili. The song is going to be called Your Voice. Still to hear it, that will come in time. Poland will be represented by Roxana Weigel and are moving Junior Eurovision to their children's channel. And previously it was on TVP1 and TVP2, getting in about 800,000 on the audience numbers. It's now going to be broadcast on TVP ABC, the children's channel. Not the first broadcaster to do that, but that means the audience is going to go down to about 100,000. So there is, given that Poland are big stock of people watching Junior Eurovision to keep the number up, there is definitely now going to be a drop in viewing figures because of that change in the channel when it comes through. Junior Eurovision, though, is not necessarily about getting the biggest number on a Sunday afternoon. Portugal up next, and Rita Laranjeira has been announced as the singer, and a separate process is still going on to select the song. That brings you and I up to date with Junior Eurovision. We're going to be reporting that as we get close to the event. And yes, we will have a team on the ground to bring you some more podcasts, reviews and fun and games from Minsk. It takes place, as you probably worked out from the ticket dates there, on Sunday, the 25th of November. And we move on to adult Eurovision, and even though it's the first week in October, we've got another result coming through from the selection system. In this case, it's from Swiss broadcaster RSI, who have 3 wildcards into the Swiss national final. Let's see, third place in their online selection. They've taken the top 3 to send forward. It's Sheila Hess with Playground. Second place is Subalter with We'll Carry the Light. And first place winning the online poll is Julie Milletta with Mama, I Walk Alone. All 3 will go forward and represent the Italian side of the Swiss broadcaster triumvirate in the Swiss national final later in the season. 10 Rand. In terms of country news, Australia, 2 points here. First one is the note that there's unlikely that Eurovision Asia is going to be going forward, at least in the near future. SP's Hess has said that it's too geopolitically difficult to get everybody on the same page. I mean, there's 2 main issues I think that are cropping up with this one. The first one is, unlike, say, in Eastern Europe, where there's a strong tradition of song contests and singing contests, and that's how you build up your career, you don't really have that in Asia. You go on it and you lose, and that's a bad thing. Eastern Europe, you go on, you lose, and you try again because you've got more experience. Also, Chinese television has a ban on foreign formats being used in Chinese programming, so there's a bit of a clash going on in there. But big hints dropped about Australia at Eurovision, and also how they'll be selecting. We could be looking at an Australian national final going on this year, so we will keep an eye on that, and it's not like we don't have anybody in Australia ready to cover that for us. Hey Charlene! Good. Over in Croatia, we can welcome back Dora, not the Explorer, but the national final. This year, of course, no World Cup taking up the budget, so it's easier to be shared around and have more events coming in. Up the traditional town hosting Dora has all been Obtaja, and it looks like it will be there as well. We've no words and dates or any other details, but I've never been to a Balkan national final, and that's already top of my list for trips for the year. Estonia submissions have opened for SDLL. They will close on November the 6th. Various names have already said they're interested in taking part. Stig Rasta, probably as a songwriter, is one of them, demonstrating the submission system on their equivalent of the One Show. So, yay, there we go. We could all see that the entry was in. Georgia have confirmed that they will be using Georgian Idol to select their singer. No mention of how the song, but it will likely be an internal selection. Traditionally, Georgia do 1 year for Georgia music, 1 year for everybody else's pop music, and we've just had, of course, the year for Georgia music, so expect something much more mainstream and pop accessible coming out of the winner of Pop Idol there. Germany, they're going to be having 20 performers in their writing camp. They've announced a number of names already. Bibi Thomas, Sebastian Schub and Nico Cross were in the first wave. Second wave includes Dimi Rompos, Daniel Schumacher and Nina Kuschera, who there was the winner of The Voice Germany, held most recently. Last year we saw that 6 were selected out of those camps and put forward to the televised national final. We don't have a date as yet, just the last 2 weeks of February being likely, given that they kind of like the Thursday dates for these ones. You're looking at probably Thursday the 21st, maybe Thursday the 28th as well. Iceland have announced their date. Semi-finals for Song Keppin on February the 9th and the 16th, with the grand final on March the 2nd. Previous 12 entries for that, 6 in each of the semi-finals. That's going to be cut down now to 10 with 2 qualifying. So you've got 4 automatic places in the grand final, and there's the possibility that they will use a wild card to take that number up to 5 as well. Adal has been confirmed. Entries are now open for that. Submissions close on November the 8th if you're looking to sing for Hungary. Lithuania, submissions are open as well and will do until December the 10th, with an announcement online of the successful applicants who will be going into the less of a marathon, more a 10,000 metres 8 times round the track on December the 12th. Eurovision 2019 will start on January the 5th, will run for 8 weeks with a final on the 23rd of February. Norway has moved back MGP a week. It will now pop up on March the 2nd. That means it doesn't clash with Melody Festival, and so you can do a double header if you feel up to it, but it does clash now with Finland and Iceland. So March the 2nd is starting to look like the Super Saturday to close off everything. You do have Andra Chansen on that week as well for Sweden. Sweden, 2,295 entries through the public system for submissions from Melody Festival, and that is lower than normal, but the team at SVT are noting that there's less multiple entries from most performers. So rather than submitting the whole album, they're just sending 1 or 2 tracks. So tickets are going to be on sale that on October the 31st. You're probably not going to hear about the artist till mid-November, so take your best guess at which one of those you want to go to. Switzerland, we've already noted we've got the wildcard picks from RSI. We're still waiting to hear from RTS. SRF have confirmed that they picked up 420 songs submitted through their public portal. They will now go forward and be listened to the 100-strong audience jury and the 20-strong international juries to find the songs that will be going forward to their national final. Ukraine this week has seen UAPBS stop broadcasting, citing mounting debts. With no other public broadcaster as a full member of the EBU and no government funding for UAPBS in sight, that means there's nobody to actually manage the entry for the Eurovision Song Contest. As I said before, there's the withdrawal without penalty by mid-October, which may well be triggered, so there's no more debt incurred, but I suspect that the EBU would want to keep Ukraine in their flagship programme as much as possible. And of course the EBU, the whole point is it's for public broadcasting, so they will be working to find ways to help that situation in Ukraine. Watch this space carefully, not just for Eurovision, but for public broadcasting in the country as a whole. United Kingdom have opened up submissions for Eurovision You Decide. The BBCs have said that once more, the publicly submitted entries will be looked at through the panel set by OGAI UK, and they'll also be looking at writing camps and industry entries with their new music director Greg Watts. From that, a number will be selected to go through to a You Decide programme. Again, we don't have dates. There are hints that it's going to be happening up in Dock 10 in Manchester, which puts it quite near Media City, which kind of makes logical sense, but don't go booking anything, don't go locking anything down yet. Nothing is official. That said, if you want me to speculate for a bit, and if you don't, skip forward 15 seconds, but there's a lot more of an emphasis on the song in things like the terms and conditions and the presentations that are coming out of the BBC, and also things like clearly stating that a song can be handed to another performer. So it doesn't surprise me if they're thinking of having a single artist multi-song national final. Now, the chances are that they're keeping their options open at this time, and I'm speculating wildly, but hey, what's wrong with a little bit of speculation about a BBC entry? There we go. 3 dates for the calendar. This Saturday, the 6th of October, OGAI UK's Eurobash is taking place in Leeds. There are a limited number of tickets available for the evening disco. Head over to the OGAI UK website for more details or find them on Facebook. Sunday, the 7th of October, we'll see Malta's X Factor start airing, which will, in the end, select their singer for the Eurovision Song Contest. No word on how the song will be chosen as yet. And Tuesday will be the national final for Wales's entry into the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. And I'm going to be doing my best to be on the ground to bring you all the details about how S4C I've got there, how we got Wales going, who's singing, who's running the song, and all of that to follow in podcasts over the next couple of weeks. Don't forget that you can continue to support the site through your comments, your shares, your links, your tweets, all very much welcome. If you want to do a little bit more, patreon.com/ESC Insight or escinsight.com/Patreon. They both work. It's slightly palindromic on that one. And we're going to have this back up on YouTube as well in terms of this podcast and the other news podcasts going on through the year. Next week, we should have another episode of Eurovision Castaways coming from Ellie and her customs desk. We've got the Welsh National Final. We'll be preparing for that. And we'll be keeping you up to date with everything on our social networks of twitter.com/ESCinsight and facebook.com/ESCinsight. I'm away to pack a train. I'm away to listen to that Mitch Benn song that said, "Why isn't London no a tourist destination?" And I shall report back soon. But until then, we have some guitars. The Insight News podcast was hosted by Ewan Spence, written by Ewan Spence and Charlene Wright, and distributed by ESC Insight, www.escinsight.com.